The original Robocop film from 1987 is one of my all-time favorite films, but make no mistake, this movie is definitely not for children, as my father found out when he took me to the theater to see it when I was a little kid. This film has earned its R rating due to its extreme violence, gore, and mature themes, but I still thought it was awesome. So imagine my excitement when I heard that an animated series based on Robocop was going to be appearing on my TV screen. Robocop the animated series premiered in 1988 as part of the Marvel Action Universe programming block alongside Dino Riders and repeats of the classic Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends cartoon. Based on the motion picture of the same name, Robocop continues to follow the adventures of the cyborg policeman Robocop as he fights to protect the city of Old Detroit from crime, as well as reclaim his humanity and maintain his relevancy in a world full of advancing technology. Robocop was once Alex Murphy, a decorated police officer who was killed in the line of duty and transformed into the future of law enforcement by the company Omni Consumer Products, better known as OCP. He is aided by his best friend and partner, Officer Ann Lewis, who sees him as more of a man than machine and appears to have romantic feelings for Robocop. The rest of the supporting cast consists of Lieutenant Hedgecock, a minor character from the original film who harbors a great deal of animosity towards Robocop and views him as a ticking time bomb. Reed is Robocop's superior officer who pretty much only speaks in cheesy sports analogies.
Now that's the truth. You took the ball and you ran with it, just like the old Gipper.
Thank you, Sergeant.
And Dr. Tyler, who in the animated series is the creator of Robocop as opposed to Bob Morton in the original film. Dr. Tyler is more of a caregiver in this iteration, providing assistance and moral support to Robocop as well as repairs. The main villain of this series is Dr. McNamara, who is constantly creating mechanical menaces to take down Robocop. Dr. McNamara's goal is to impress the chairman of OCP by showing Robocop to be inferior to his creation so he can receive the financial backing of the company. Also, the men responsible for the death of Alex Murphy are still alive in the animated series, and Robocop must battle them once again in the final episode of the cartoon. In addition to using characters from the motion picture, Robocop the animated series keeps a lot of the themes from the original film, but it did have to make some changes to make the series appropriate for younger viewers. The cartoon was given more of a sci-fi setting, and even though the characters used firearms, bullets were replaced with laser beams, and non-lethal means were used to take down the bad guys. Robocop himself was very similar to the character in the film personality-wise, but he was portrayed as more of a superhero with a greater range of motion than his live-action counterpart, and a red light was added to the middle of his visor. With Robocop more accessible to kids, Kenner produced a toy line based on the animated series called Robocop and the Ultra Police. The line lasted from 1988 to 1990 and consisted of numerous figures and vehicles from the Robocop universe, as well as a Robo Helmet and Ultra Blaster. The same year the animated series and toy line were released, Robocop also made his way to arcades. This action game was released by Data East and is based on the motion picture and not the animated series, but is a must-play for fans of the Robocop franchise. Robocop the animated series ran for one season with a total of 12 episodes. Traditionally, the show order for Saturday morning cartoons was for 13 episodes, but Marvel Productions decided to use the budget for the last episode to produce an animated series based on Marvel's popular X-Men comics. The pilot episode was the only episode of the X-Men produced, as the show did not go to series, but fans of this iteration of the X-Men were still able to experience the adventures of Marvel's Merry Mutants in the incredible arcade game based on this pilot. A different iteration of the X-Men hit airwaves a few years later and became one of the most popular animated series of all time. While Robocop made a few appearances on the small screen in a live-action series in 1994 and another animated series in 1998, the 1988 animated series was the most faithful adaptation of the original movie out there. The series was released over the years on VHS and DVD, and if you look hard enough you can occasionally find it on some streaming services or on YouTube. If you're a fan of Robocop or just curious to see how they managed to take a movie franchise that was geared towards adults and make it kid-friendly, I highly recommend checking this show out. Till next time.